Thank you, everybody, for coming to the Aaron Torres Podcast YouTube page. If you could do me one quick favor, see that little black subscribe button on the bottom of your screen? Go ahead, hit that little black subscribe button. Really does help this channel grow, my audience grow, and I appreciate it more than you know. Thank you again. Now, here's the video that you came here for. Let's keep it going. Another super interesting SEC game. Noon Eastern, 11 Central in College Station, Texas, as Hugh Freeze, his first game as an SEC head coach, obviously since leaving Ole Miss. He's back at Auburn. Auburn's 3-0. They're going to College Station, as I just said, to take on the Texas A&M Aggies. Texas A&M, a 7.5-point favorite in this game. Over-under set at 51.5. And what I would just say about this game, this is kind of the Jimbo Fisher kind of crap or get off the pot game, right? Now, you would argue that probably happened 3 years ago. But the bottom line is we know what was at stake for Jimbo Fisher coming into this season, right? Really bad season. You're probably going to lose your job. Decent season. You might keep it, but you're on thin ice. And so after that Miami game, I think Jimbo Fisher's officially like out of excuses. He was out of excuses coming into the year, but now he definitely is. You're at home. You're playing a first-year head coach in the SEC, rebuilt roster. This is a game you have to win. And I think more importantly, if you don't win this game, it's hard to see the pathway to Jimbo Fisher having the kind of season that will satisfy his fan base. Texas A&M obviously will have Arkansas, Jerry World in a week, Alabama at home. They'll have LSU at LSU later in the year, at Tennessee later in the year. So there aren't, the way the SEC is going, a lot of unwinnable games. But if you lose this one, I don't know if you can recover from it. The good news is for Texas A&M, at the very least, Connor Wigman is a dog, right? Texas A&M, I think they've been waiting for that special quarterback for a while now. Kellen Mond was good, but I don't know that anyone would call him special. Connor Wigman has a chance to be special. Last week, it was admittedly Louisiana Monroe, but 25 of 29, 337 yards passing, 5 yards per carry on the ground for the run game. Ruben Owens, the 5-star running back, seemed to have a breakout game. So overall, that offense clicked very well against Louisiana Monroe. I think the big thing, though, it's not really the offense. The offense was okay against Miami. They weren't great, but the problem was the defense. We all watched that Miami-Texas A&M game, and it was ugly. Tyler Van Dyke obviously just exposed them. But overall, and we talked about this on the Aaron Torres pod, it was just such a disappointing effort, not just because you lose, but how you played. Gave up 374 yards passing. As I said, 5 touchdown passes to Tyler Van Dyke. And more importantly, there were those moments where it felt like Texas A&M quit. And so this is kind of a statement game for Texas A&M from that perspective as well. Not only who are you as a team win losses, but who are you as a program? What is your identity? Because you kind of quit in a lot of games last year, and you definitely quit against Miami this year. Now, the good news for Texas A&M, listen, I like Hugh Freeze. I've had Hugh Freeze on the Aaron Torres pod. I think he is a hell of a football coach. I also think he is at a major talent disadvantage, okay? Remember, Brian Harsin basically stopped recruiting when he was at Auburn, really 2 cycles ago, but then he definitely wasn't recruiting last year. And so Hugh Freeze gets in, and it is bottom of the barrel, and you can just tell by who's playing for Auburn this year. Peyton Thorne, their quarterback, is a transfer. 2 of their top 3 receivers, Rivaldo Fairweather, a tight end, and also Shane Hooks from Jackson State, of all places, both transfers. Keep in mind also, most of that offensive line is rebuilt. And so you look at this Auburn thing, I like Hugh Freeze. I think he gets them going, but this is a work in progress. And I think we saw it 2 weeks ago when they went to Cal. I know it was a weird game late at night. It was, a 10 Eastern, 9 Central, kind of sit around the hotel all day kind of game. But Auburn was lucky to get away with a win in that game. They finished with just over 200 yards of total offense, 94 yards passing. Basically, they used last week against Samford basically as a 7-on-7 passing, kind of clinic. They just basically passed the ball a bunch to get into a rhythm for the quarterback. So this Auburn team, they're going to get there eventually. Hugh Freeze is already recruiting very well for 2024. He'll be successful in the portal, but I just don't know that he has the dudes this year. By the way, you know who else kind of doesn't know if he has the dudes this year? Hugh Freeze, I found this quote from him earlier in the week. I found it very interesting. He said, I'm probably too candid and honest sometimes for some people. Let's just be really clear. You're playing the best recruits in the nation. We're going to have to go in there soon. We're going to be there soon, excuse me. And that doesn't mean you can't compete and win the game. But there's a reason that they are third in the nation on third down defense. They've got a bunch of 5-stars in the defensive line and at linebacker and at safety and at corner. They are really, really talented. And so I just bring it up because I think even Hugh Freeze knows the task at hand that will be going on at Texas A&M. A&M has the better quarterback. They have the better athletes on defense. Now it's on them to produce. It's on DJ Durkin to put them in position to succeed. They have the home field advantage. And one thing about A&M fans, I give them so much credit. Even in the dark times, they show up and they support their team. And lastly, I found something else interesting too. It's going to be over 100 degrees in College Station on Saturday. It's going to be over 100 degrees, which probably means it's like a $120, $130 on the field. That's a lot for an Auburn team that just doesn't have that many bodies. I'm actually going to take Texas A&M to win and to cover. I'll say 31-14 as a final score. Jimbo Fisher, you lose that game, don't even bother going to the locker room. Just go straight to your car, get in the car and drive. But I think they win and get this victory.